Hi students, here we are at the Master Weaver's Loom inside the weaving shop, and look at this machine. Isn't it amazing? When you look at this, I want you to think of the words industry, factory, technology, all those things that don't really seem to fit into the mission era, and yet that's exactly what this machine is. It is a piece of high technology from the mission era that allows us not to just make one blanket, but we can make 8 blankets on one run if we wanted to, and that's going to save us a lot of time. So as I'm saying that, come on over here and let's take a look at what I mean. So I'm going to be sitting at this loom, and you can see right here is my warp, and I'm weaving a blanket right here. This is my shuttle. It's used to move the yarn across the machine. To go any further, I really want to show you what's down below. So I'm going to unlock my brake here, and I'm going to loosen up what's going on down here. So you can see I've got some blankets that have already been made on this wheel right here, and I'm unrolling them. And while we're down here, I want you to notice the cog wheel. This is a simple technology that allows me to tighten and loosen my warp, and I'm going to show you how it breaks in just a minute. And then right over here, I've got 2 pedals, and I'm going to move them up and down. And these are part of the machine as well. And we will see what those do in just a little bit. So we've taken our tour down below, but what I want to show you is just right up here how those blankets that are down below, see I've got one I just completed right here. And then the one I'm working on is right here. But notice what's in between. What's this stuff? What is wood doing in a blanket? Well, it's important that you separate each blanket. And you want to do that because you need space on the string to be able to cut. Now we would take these slats out and you would be left with this unwoven area of string, and we would take it in the middle and cut it, and then tie each string off to make sure that your blanket doesn't unravel at the end. So that's why those are there. Now I told you the cog below here is going to be how I tighten my warp. So I'm going to do that right now, and you can see that I'm going to tighten it up just like this. Now to keep my warp tight, I need a brake to hold that cog in place, and that's what I'm doing right here. Again, simple technology. In my hand, I have the shuttle, and this is that yarn we just made, that we just spun, and we're going to take it and weave it into a blanket now. So my feet go on the pedals. I'm going to hold the shuttle in my hand, and I have 2 pedals, one for my right foot, one for my left foot. Since I'm going to be moving my shuttle over here, notice it's on the right, it needs to go over there, I'm going to put my left foot down. That opens up the warp strings here. So as I do that, I'm going to take my shuttle here, and I'm going to shuttle it across. Are you ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that, I put it across, and you can see the string is now in the warp. My yarn is in the warp, but notice it's not woven like this is. In order to do that, I'm going to have to switch my feet, and I'm going to do that on the count of 3. So count with me at home. 1, 2, 3, switch. Cool, you want to see it again? 1, 2, 3, switch. Now what happened when I did that? We had some top string and some bottom strings, right? Well, the top string, when I switch my feet, go down below, and the top strings come up, and that traps that yarn in. So instead of taking your yarn and going in and out and in and out and in and out, over and under each string on the warp, this does it for you. Again, technology and efficiency. I'm going to take my beater bar now. This is pretty cool. And what this does, do you see how it straightens out the line that's here? Let's see that again. See how it's crooked here? We're going to tighten it up and make it nice and straight so they're all at the same level. And it does that because it has these little teeth right here, and that's going to bring this in. So here we are, we're just going to make it come all the way here. Do it nice and tight. And that's how you weave this blanket. Now the master weaver who would operate this machine would have come from Mexico, and he would have been the head of his guild, or someone who would be high ranking in his guild. And that would be kind of like your school teacher. Your school teacher has gone through a lot of education to become a school teacher. They had to graduate high school, they had to graduate college, and they had to get a teaching credential. This master weaver probably started sweeping the shop when he was a child, and he moved his way up through the ranks until he was in charge of the weaving. As you can see, it's a pretty important craft here at the mission. And he and his family would teach the Chumash people who were here at this mission how to use the weaving, the loom, how to card wool, how to spin it, all of that that we just talked about. So that's it for the loom. I'm going to let you go back to your regular program.